The Experienced Pros Radio Show, home of the original Fan Braggin' Fridays. Take just 20 seconds to become a business revolutionary by sharing a fan bragging story of great customer service by using the hashtag FanBrag or calling the Fan Braggin' Hotline at 855-FAN-BRAG, FANBRAG. Now back to Angel and Eric, the Experienced Pros.
Welcome back to the Experienced Pros Radio Show. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us for ours. Wouldn't you like to have some insider tips to grow your business in an economy that kind of goes up, down, and sideways?
I think we're all looking for ways to accelerate our business growth, right? We want to grow. We want to get there faster. We want to enhance our competitiveness. Well, our guest is Dr. Marsha Firestone. She founded the Women's Presidents Organization in 1997. She's also the author of the book, The Busy Woman's Guide to Successful Self-Employment. She's published research in business and education journals, and she's a frequent guest and speaker. Dr. Marsha Firestone, welcome to the Experienced Pros Radio Show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
It is very nice to have you along with us. Let's start by talking about, lay out the terrain of today's economy and what that means to small business owners across the board, if you will, please.
Well, I can report that every year we do a business outlook survey, and we're about to do a new one for 2018. But I can tell you what they said in 2017, which is that the biggest issues for them are finding and hiring and retaining the best employees. 1. 2, they need to get rid of the red tape that's burying them.
Yes.
And 3, they need more access to capital.
All right.
These are things that have been problematic for a long time, and they continue to be problematic.
Isn't it funny? Like these aren't new. I don't know how often you do the survey, and how often the top 3 challenges have changed. But seems to be hiring and retaining good employees, always top of the list. The red tape for small business, always right up there, and access to more capital. So how can we make 2018, when we do this survey again next year, Dr. Firestone, what are some things that can be done that we collectively do as small businesses that we can come together so that we can kind of change the story a little bit?
Well, I think that pressuring our government to get rid of the red tape, it would be one very important step. I think a second step is really learning as business owners how to interview and hire the right team. Every single opportunity that I have had to talk to our members and other business owners about whether or not they have the opportunity to share their experiences and learn from one another about how to do it, they really gain a lot from that experience.
Okay, so bringing people together to have a conversation is one thing. You said to use the word pressure the government to get rid of the bureaucratic red tape. I think you're probably in the most pro-business administration in many ways in that regard. How are you, I'm going to use the word encouraging, the administration and the government? Is it a state level? Is it local level? Or are we talking full-blown federal level? And what are you doing?
I actually sit on the National Women's Business Council, which is a group of 15 women who have been appointed by the SBA to talk about issues that are important to women-owned businesses and to other businesses. And so one way is to make your opinion known through the council. Another way is that the council often has public meetings and to share your expertise and your knowledge around business ownership with them, with the counsel is very helpful.
It is. One of the things that we discovered several years ago, I think a lot of times as small business owners, we're so busy in our business, trying to grow our business, marketing our business. We don't have a great team to support us that we can go off and spend a lot of time on boards and committees and all of that. And we're really counting on these associations that we have joined and are partnering with to be our voice. Dr. Marsha Firestone, I know you've also wrote the book, The Busy Woman's Guide to Successful Employment. What are some fun things that we can get when we pick up a copy of that book?
Well, some of the tips that I would recommend are, first of all, innovation, being really innovative in what you're doing, both internally and externally, not only new products and services, but new ways of doing things within the company. Secondly, don't rely on professional help that is a friend or a friend of the family. Go out and get professional help that is going to really support you and provide the expertise that you need in establishing and growing your company.
Dr. Firestone, does a bartender count?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. Whenever you have a networking event.
All right. Okay. All right. Go ahead. What else can we learn out of the book?
Market research. There's so many people who have ideas, but they don't test them out with their market. And before you jump into anything or try to grow a business, you really need to do that market research and make sure that there's an interest in that product or service.
Okay, so
that it's really wanted.
Right.
Not just your opinion, their opinion.
We hammered that earlier in today's program as well. We think that it's such an important thing not to pitch what you're selling, but rather sell what people need and what they're looking for. So along the lines of market research, what are some of your favorite angles and elements to bring to the table? Do we do A/B testing? Do we go down and find the nice lady at the library who knows everything about the demographics of, and how to whittle down demographics? What do you recommend?
I recommend that you set aside a certain amount of money, if you can, to do your research. I recommend that you go stand on the street corner if you have a new product at the mall and get the opinion of the individuals. It's so important to have the input from those people who might be your customer. And so if you have to do it for free, where you're the person collecting the data, or you're looking on your database and doing research on the computer, don't be surprised that that's a good resource, one of the resources. And finally, the top three, I would say, is to take your product and sit down in the middle of the busiest area that you can find and have your product or your service tested by the potential customers who walk by.
This is great advice, Dr. Marsha Firestone. How do you want our audience to get a copy of the book, The Busy Woman's Guide to Successful Self-Employment, and get more information about the Women's Presidents Organization?
So the Women Presidents Organization is a peer advisory group for multi-million-dollar women-led companies. There are 137 chapters on 6 continents and growing. The book that The Busy Woman's Guide is now out of print, unfortunately, but if they really wanted it, we would make a copy of the book and provide it.
If you really want it, I love that.
Well, we want to help our women to grow and scale their business. And one of the things that we do is to have a list of the 50 fastest growing women-owned businesses, which is underwritten by American Express. And we have a book out, The 50 Fastest Growing Women-Led Companies Guide to Growth. And that book can be purchased on Amazon. And it's very inexpensive, and it talks about how you can grow your company. WPO has a website, www.womenpresidentorg.com, and we have lots of information, but especially for our members who are growing their companies, who are part of WPO, to accelerate the growth of their company.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time today.
And I appreciate yours. Thanks
Absolutely.
for the good work you're doing.
You betcha. I think we're in that 50, the 50 most influential.
I think we're 51.
Oh, are we 51? Just almost make
right,
the break.
Maybe 50.
Yeah, look for us next year. All right, gang, don't go anywhere. More positive business talk right after these messages. You're listening to Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer. We're helping you build your brand right here on the radio. Back after this.
You're listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show, America's home for positive business talk.
KDMT, Denver's Money Talk, 1690 AM.